Akiko tapped gently on her sleeping classmate's shoulder. The latter had, for what seemed to be the 5th time that day, even though it was only the 2nd period, her head lying on a soft pillow on her desk. She brought this pillow wherever she went.
Shizu.
Akiko called softly.
Shizu, you've got to get up.
The cold girl shifted slightly, then raised her head to look over at who had roused her.
Huh?
She blinked the sleep from her eyes groggily.
What? Oh no, not again.
Shizu buried her face in her arms for a moment, before pushing herself to sit upright, her eyes darting to the front of the classroom.
What did I miss?
It's okay. You were only out for about 10 minutes. You still have about 10 more minutes to complete your assignment.
Shizu fumbled with a book that sat on the desk in front of her, left open to a page of questions that they had been assigned to answer. Part of her was relieved that she hadn't missed anything new, but another part of her was frustrated with herself for falling asleep and wasting 10 of the precious 20 minutes they had been given for their schoolwork.
I'm sorry, this always happens.
She said, picking up a pen and beginning to write answers down.
I just can't seem to stay awake no matter how hard I try.
Akiko returned her attention to the book she was holding, filling out another answer box.
Did you have trouble sleeping last night?
She asked, her tone rather concerned. Shizu looked away, a light shade of pink dusting her cheeks. Was she embarrassed?
No, it's not something like that.
She mumbled, dropping her eyes to the questions on her book. She began writing down answers, though it was clear that she was struggling to remain focused.
I'm just always tired.
She let out an obvious yawn, but forced herself to keep writing.
What do you mean?
Akiko asked, intrigued. Shizu finished writing and lowered her pen. The questionnaire before her was only a quarter of the way full.
I don't know. It's always been like this. I guess it has something to do with my quirk being sleep-related, but it's no excuse.
For a moment, Akiko had the distinct urge to dive for the notebook that she kept with her at all times. She loved learning about how other people's quirks worked and how it affected them physically. This piece of information would be fascinating to take notes about. But she knew this was not the right time for that. She needed to help Shizu.
Oh, that must be hard. But if it's because of your quirk, it's not really your fault.
I guess not, but I still miss things even if it does feel nice to sleep. It isn't very convenient, and I know it annoys other people.
Her head was now back on her pillow again, and she looked like she was on the verge of dozing off. She forced herself to turn so that she was looking at Akiko, willing her eyelids not to close. Akiko placed a gentle hand on Shizu's shoulder.
Do you want to go back to sleep?
Shizu shook her head and struggled to get up again, but it was clear that what little energy she had gained from her 10-minute nap was already leaving her.
I can't.
She whispered, her head drooping back on her pillow.
I have to finish the assignment.
Against her will, her eyelids slid closed and she began to breathe lightly, a sure sign she had fallen back asleep. Akiko frowned in contemplation. It wasn't Shizu's fault that she was always tired, but it was clear that the latter also wanted to work hard despite what she was going through. Shizu was not just trying to be lazy. She really couldn't help it. Was there anything could be done to help make her situation easier? Akiko needed to think. She finished her assignment and copied what she had learned about Shizu's quirk into her notebook. Then she sat through the rest of the morning classes. At lunch, Akiko met up with Kuraiko as usual. The two of them sat down to their bowls of rice and teriyaki salmon, the latter savoring each mouthful she picked from her chopsticks.
Sasha don't have it on the menu more often. It's always beef stew or soba or something.
They have rice pretty often as well, but not salmon. It's usually chicken teriyaki. Not as good as the kind you can get outside of school, though.
Speaking of food from outside of school, remember the teriyaki we got on our first day? That was epic! I could top anything we have here tenfold.
She emptied her bowl and stretched.
I need seconds.
You're always hungry. I haven't even halfway through with mine yet.
I'm not. I just train a lot. I need energy, you know? It helps keep me going.
I know. I'm just teasing. It's not like you want to eat all the time.
Akiko relented. Then a thought struck her.
Hey, Kuraiko, do you ever get tired after training, but you still want to train some more?
Huh? Yeah, of course. Quite often, actually. Sometimes I train until midnight. I'm definitely exhausted by then, but I don't want to just quit. If I'm gonna be a super awesome hero, I've gotta train and push past my limits. Go beyond, plus ultra, you know?
How do you get that extra energy boost? To keep going even when you are close to collapsing?
The dragon girl shrugged.
I don't know. I drink coffee or something. Well, usually energy drinks tend to do the trick. Red Bull or Monster, I just get whatever I can get my claws on at the time.
That's interesting.
Akiko replied, making a mental note.
I guess caffeine has been known to give people strength. I've met people who drink it in the morning if they need to stay awake. Thanks, Kuraiko.
Kuraiko raised her eyebrows.
You been feeling tired lately or something? You seem normal to me.
Akiko shook her head.
No, I was just curious. I want to know how I could help Shizu stay awake.
Ah, that girl who sits next to you in class who's always asleep?
Yeah, she was having trouble doing her assignments this morning and I was worried about her.
Well, good luck helping her stay awake. She's a tough one. I don't know anyone else who could sleep through the ruckus that happens whenever me and Tora argue.
Akiko sighed and rolled her eyes.
Can't you lay off Tora already? You two are equally competitive. You should work together.
No! Not until she admits that I defeated her in our last training match.
The next morning, Akiko settled down at her desk with a can of coffee in her hand. It wasn't anything fancy, just something she got at a nearby convenience store. Still, she hoped there would be enough to achieve her desired goal.
Morning, Shizu.
She greeted as the girl next to her began unpacking her bag. The latter looked fresh today, as if she'd enjoyed a good night's rest, but from experience Akiko knew that this was going to be short-lived, unless something could keep her awake.
Oh, hi, Akiko. Sorry for dozing off on you yesterday. I should have said something after lunch, but I was, well, too embarrassed.
She turned away, not meeting her eyes.
It's alright. Yeah, I brought you something that might actually help you focus today. I know it helps my friend Kuraiko whenever she gets tired.
Shizu's expression lit up.
Really? You didn't have to. That's so sweet of you.
Akiko handed her the can of coffee.
Don't worry about it. It was nothing much.
I've never had coffee before.
Shizu said, studying the can.
Is it good?
I mean, it's popular.
Akiko shrugged.
I don't drink it often myself, but it's alright. I made sure to pick one that wasn't bitter.
Thanks, Akiko. You really didn't have to.
Shizu smiled, popping off the top of the coffee can. She took a long drink, determined to drain the whole can so that she would have as much energy as possible for that day's lessons. When she was done, she got up, deposited the empty can in the classroom bin, and returned to her seat. Akiko looked over at Shizu to check if she was doing okay throughout the first period. She knew that around 20 minutes into the lesson the girl would start to get a little sleepy. By 35 minutes she would already be dozing off. To her dismay, Shizu was already fighting wakefulness a mere 14 minutes into the lecture. By 23 minutes she had already begun to snooze on her desk. She just could not understand it. Had something gone wrong with the coffee? Was it not a strong enough dose of caffeine? Just then, the class was told to split into groups of 4 to work on a project assignment, and Akiko found herself joined at a desk by Akahana and Mie.
Just the 3 of us?
Akahana asked, laying a sheet of paper down on an empty spot of the desk.
Well, there's Shizu.
Mie pointed out.
She can be our 4th member.
Despite the additional voices so close to her, Shizu did not stir. Mie approached the sleeping girl and shook her shoulders gently.
Hey, we're working on a group project. Wanna join us?
Still, there was no response.
Oh well.
Mie sat back down at her seat, moving Akiko's desk closer to Shizu's so they would look like a team of 4.
What's gotten her so out of it today? She seems even more tired than usual.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me either. I gave her a can of coffee this morning to help her be more alert, but it looks like it backfired somehow. Could have been something wrong with the coffee?
To her surprise, Akahana began to giggle.
What?
Oh, Akiko. It isn't your fault. Coffee sometimes has the opposite effect than what it's marketed to be, you know?
What are you talking about?
Akiko questioned, a little worried now. Was there some sort of sleeping draft that she didn't know about? Akahana continued to giggle for a few more moments before calming herself down enough to explain.
It's just, for most people when they drink coffee, they get more alert. But I knew people back in middle school, they would drink coffee and it would have no effect on them. Or in some cases, it would make them even more tired. don't take my word on it for research or anything. It's just what I've observed. So maybe Shizu's just one of those people who gets more tired when she drinks coffee. Nothing to worry about.
Akiko felt as if a light bulb switched on in her head. Of course coffee was not a one-size-fit-all solution. How had she not thought of that before? She was so worried about helping Shizu, she hadn't taken into account that not every method would work for everyone. Relief washed over her. She hadn't failed yet. After all, she just needed to find another solution.
Of course! Why didn't I think of that? There's more than one answer to every problem and it works differently for every person, just like with quirks. I should have realized that there was a chance it might not have worked. Thanks, Akahana.
You're as analytical as always.
So, what do you think I could do to help Shizu? Any ideas? Coffee didn't work, but I know she wants to at least be able to focus a little. There has to be something that could help her stay awake.
Have you tried talking to her?
You mean just in general? Not really. I don't really know what to talk about. The only times I really talk to her when I wake her up to help her with assignments.
Well, maybe you should try. I know that talking keeps me awake.
Hey, I don't sleep in class.
No, but I seem to recall keeping you awake when you were about to fall asleep last Tuesday.
Mie playfully shoved her friend by the shoulder.
That's because you were calling me at 2 a.m. when we were supposed to be sleeping.
Nice weather we're having, isn't it?
Akiko's question caught Shizu off guard. She'd been on the verge of dozing throughout the fourth period, and it was the 8th time she had fallen asleep that day.
Yes, it is.
She replied, struggling to stay awake.
It's nice and cozy.
Yeah, it's one of our first non-rainy days all spring. Makes for great training weather. Would be great to test out our quirks against each other in combat training under those clear skies, don't you think?
This wasn't going well. Akiko was just making up conversation topics as she went. She needed to engage Shizu, keep her focused on the waking world.
I think it's a great time, too.
Shizu interrupted her own sentence with a huge yawn. Akiko racked her brain furiously, thinking of a conversation topic that could keep the latter awake.
Oh, did you know that Akahana called me till 2 a.m. the other day? Crazy, right?
She felt bad saying it. It wasn't really any of Shizu's concern, but gossip always seemed to work for Akahana.
Oh, 2 a.m.
Shizu's eyelid began to droop again.
Such a peaceful time of night. So warm. Under the blanket with Jupiter next to me.
Her head fell on her pillow and she fell asleep without another word. Akiko tried not to feel disheartened. Okay, so that didn't work either. So what could? Kuraiko's advice didn't work. Akahana's gossip didn't do anything. So where was she going wrong with this? Akiko took out a piece of paper and began writing down what she had done so far, trying to find a pattern, something her methods so far had in common, so she could change it up. At first, she didn't find any similarities in them at all. The first attempt had to do with food and beverages, while the second attempt had to do with gossip and socializing. Then she looked at the people who she had asked advice from to begin with. Both Kuraiko and Akahana were energetic people. Even Mie was pretty extroverted, though she was not nearly as nosy or rambunctious as the other two. Shizu, meanwhile, was clearly an introverted person. She didn't have nearly the same amount of energy in her body that the others had, which could explain why coffee had a different effect. Even though it wasn't a scientific explanation, it was a good enough hunch. Not only that, but Shizu wasn't as involved in the rest of the class as her extroverted peers. So, methods that would normally keep them interested and alert would not work on her. If Akiko was going to help Shizu, she needed to seek advice from someone who was as introverted and as uninvolved as Shizu. Maybe then she would get a new perspective on the situation, if not an outright solution. She looked around her classroom. There were quite a few introverted classmates to pick from, but the more uninvolved they were in the main social crowds, the better. She narrowed her eyes. She had someone in mind, but the question was whether or not he would talk to her.
Leave me alone.
It was the end of the school day, and Toto was getting ready to leave the classroom when he was stopped by his deputy class rep.
Wait, Theodore, I need to talk to you.
He scowled at her, clutching the manga he was still holding to his chest.
Toto, and I don't want to talk.
Kiko sighed, but she did not waver.
This is important. I need advice on how to help someone, and you're the only one who can.
Go ask someone else. I don't care.
Look, if you help me, I'll...
I don't care what you'll do. I'm not interested. Excuse me. I need to get home.
He walked past her and out of the classroom door. Akiko went after him, desperately shouting as she went.
How do you keep someone interested in a conversation with you?
It was the first question that popped up in her mind. She was originally going to ask him for a whole new solution, but given the circumstances, she thought that any new perspective, even something along the lines of a new conversation topic, could help. Toto turned around slowly to look at her, one hand in his pocket.
Why are you asking me that? I'm not interested in talking to you, so don't even bother.
But what would make you interested in talking to someone? What would keep your attention even when you're tired or couldn't care less?
Toto thought for a moment, a peculiar expression coming over his face. The hand holding the manga seemed to tighten its grip ever so slightly on the book.
You would have to talk to me about something I'm interested in, like anime or something along those lines. Then maybe I'd be a little interested. But I know you're not into that, and probably think it's lame. So...
Then it clicked. The answer was so simple, so obvious. Conversation wasn't bad advice at all. She had just been picking the wrong topics. Shizu was not involved in the affairs of her peers or classmates, so any conversation topics involving them would not capture her attention. She wasn't particularly interested in the outdoors, so talking about the weather wouldn't have been either. But her interests... If Akiko talked to her about her interests, things Shizu actually cared about, maybe that could work. Before she knew it, Akiko was beaming at Toto.
That's it!
She cheered as the light bulb went off in her mind.
That's exactly it!
She turned around and made to head back to the almost empty classroom.
Thank you, Toto!
Toto, who had been on the verge of turning away himself, stared at his usually reserved deputy class rep. He wasn't exactly sure what he had said or done to get her so excited, and he didn't really care. But it was unexpected all the same.
Whatever. Can you leave me alone now?
She didn't answer and just went back to her classroom, passing their class rep Masashi as she went. Had he overheard the entire conversation? She supposed it didn't matter either way. Akiko picked up her bag, which she had not meant to leave behind, as she hadn't intended to leave the classroom in the first place. Having now gotten it, she made her way back outside and towards the school gates where Kuraiko was waiting for her.
Hey, what kept you? Saw you talking to Toto earlier. Akahana just walked by me and was going on about how she speculates that there's some secret romance going on between you two.
It was Akiko's turn to scowl.
Tell Akahana that she's got the wrong idea. I just needed his advice on something.
I did, don't worry. I figured you were still trying to find ways to help Shizu. Akahana actually believed me when I told her about that, strangely enough.
Yeah, I got some advice from her as well. How did you know I was still looking for a solution?
I saw you giving Shizu a can of coffee the other day and trying to keep her up through conversation.
Well, those two things didn't really go too well, but I think I know where I went wrong, so I'm going to try again tomorrow.
Really? What's the plan?
I'll fill you in on the way home. Toto gave me some great advice. Who's Jupiter?
Akiko asked, flipping her textbook to page 394. Shizu looked over at her in surprise. It was the very first period of the very next day, and she had been staring off into space, beginning to zone out. If she'd been left to her own devices any longer, her tiredness would have taken over, and she would begin to knock out as usual. But the unexpected question caught her interest.
Jupiter? How do you know about him?
You said something about someone named Jupiter the other day when we were talking.
Akiko answered, turning over to make eye contact with the girl beside her.
Did I? I must have been falling asleep when I said that.
Shizu laughed. It was the first time Akiko had heard her do so. Normally, Sleepy Girl had a soft smile on her face, an expression of warmth and fondness that the former hadn't seen there before.
Jupiter is my pet dog. I've had him for a while now. He's big, really fluffy, and so nice to cuddle with.
Her eyes had a faraway look in them, but it wasn't the normal type of glazed look she always had. This one was more lively, more nostalgic in a way. Akiko could not help but have her own curiosity piqued. She'd always liked animals, and she'd studied a lot about them growing up. Not only was it an interest of hers, but she had needed to know all about them and their bone structure in order to use her own transformation quirk.
I didn't know you had a dog. What kind of dog is he? And why is he named Jupiter?
He's a shepherd dog, and his name was inspired by the planet Jupiter in outer space. I've always liked space, and since he's a big dog, I named him after the biggest planet in the solar system.
While they talked, Their teacher gave them instructions and assignments to do. Akiko kept Shizu engaged, asking her more about Jupiter and how she got him, more about outer space and her favorite objects. In the meantime, she also helped the other girl follow the lessons, strategically switching back and forth between talking about school and talking about the latter's interests. Shizu kept up a commentary while she worked, not nearly as loud or as fast as the more chatty people in their classroom, but still, a steady stream of conversation all the same. She still appeared tired, there was no doubt about that, but the interest in the ongoing conversation seemed to be keeping her alert for much longer than usual. By the time she inevitably fell asleep, it was already an hour and a half after classes began, and Akiko could not help but feel like the attempt had been a success. She let her new friend rest for a while and took notes for both of them, planning to share them with her later. Then, when Shizu awoke again in the middle of third period, Akiko repeated the process. As they talked, she began to realize she was not just helping Shizu with her sleep struggles, but that she was also gaining something from the encounter. Shizu was kind, gentle, passionate, and funny. There was always a light in her eyes whenever she expressed any of her interests. Her ways of self-expression were always so soft but so genuine, Akiko soon realized she wasn't just talking to her to keep her awake anymore. She genuinely wanted to spend time with Shizu. By the end of the school day, Shizu had only fallen asleep a record-breaking 5 times, and she was smiling instead of looking down as she exited the classroom.
Hey, you did great today,
Akiko told her, falling into step beside her new friend.
What do you mean?
Shizu asked.
You stayed awake more than usual.
Akiko smiled. Shizu tilted her head slightly in thought.
I did? Huh. I guess I did. I didn't realize. I guess I was just having so much fun talking with you that I wasn't focusing on how tired I was. Even now, I feel like I want to keep talking to you. It's kind of strange.
I don't think it's strange. We were talking about things you enjoy. Even I found myself engaged all day.
You liked it?
Shizu asked with the same light in her eyes that had appeared when she had also talked about Jupiter earlier that day.
I did. And I think you're fun to hang out with.
She reached into her bag and pulled out the notes she had taken while Shizu had slept that day.
Here, I took these for both of us, but I've already got a copy. Maybe this could help you if you've ever worried about what you missed in class.
Shizu stared at the notes, as if they belonged to a different planet. Then she slowly extended a hand and accepted them. No one had ever done anything like that for her. She'd always just been perceived as that one lazy kid who'd rather nap than pay attention in class.
Thank you. I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. We're friends now, so don't be afraid to ask if you need any help anytime. I'm always happy to help you with your homework or just to talk with you if you like.
Thanks, Akiko. I think of you as a friend too. No one's ever done all of this for me before. I'd be happy to hang out anytime you like. And I could use some help catching up with my homework.
You should probably head home and get some well-deserved rest. But I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow.
You will. I can't wait.
And with a small wave, she turned and headed in the direction of the school gates, feeling a lot more alert going home than on any other day before now. Akiko made her way towards the exit as well, unable to resist smiling to herself. Not only had her plan worked, she made a new friend in the process. She realized this was going to be the start of something new once again, and she loved it.